Do tourist boats stress out whales? Researchers find out scientists are collecting data from whales' breath to find out if they get stressed by whale-watching boats. Just off the northern coast of Iceland, scientists are collecting data from whales' breath to find out if they get stressed by whale-watching boats, an industry that has boomed in recent years. Researchers from WhaleWise, a marine conservation charity, are studying the whales' stress levels in their hormones. From their small sailboat, a drone lifts off. After 6 hours of waiting, the scientists have finally spotted a humpback whale. Attached to the flying device are 2 petri dishes, transparent cylindrical containers, that will collect water droplets from the whale's spray. The time frame to collect the sample is short, the duration of a whale's breath. This time, the drone flies over the whale carefully, crossing through the spray coming from the whale's blowhole, and mission accomplished. It returns to the sailboat, delivering its precious cargo to the researchers. Once wrapped in paraffin and frozen, the samples will be sent to a laboratory for analysis. The researchers aim to collect samples before a whale-watching boat arrives and then afterwards, then compare the 2 samples to determine the direct impact of that encounter on stress levels. Tourists have been increasingly flocking to the waters of the North Atlantic off Iceland to admire the majestic creatures, though 2020 was a quiet year due to the pandemic. More than 360,000 whale watchers were registered in 2019, 3 times the number a decade ago. Almost a third of them began their whale-watching tour in the Huasavik harbor, heading for the chilly waters of Shalfandi Bay. Feeding Disruption's previous studies on tourism's impact on whales, which were based on behavioral observations, concluded that tourism caused only minor disruptions to the mammals. The most recent study, from 2011, found that whale-watching excursions were disrupting minke whales in the Faxa Bay near Reykjavik, in the south of the country. We found that the minke whales were disturbed in their feeding, but it was only a short-term disturbance, one of the authors of the study, Marianne Rasmussen, director of the University of Iceland Research Center in Huasavik, told AFP. It didn't affect their overall fitness. The method used by WhaleWise this summer has been used elsewhere by biologists, but this was a first for researchers in Iceland. From the samples, you can look at hormones such as cortisol, which is a stress-related hormone, and then you can determine the physiological stress levels of these whales, said Tom Grove, WhaleWise co-founder and a PhD student at the University of Edinburgh. Since 2018, 59 samples have been collected. While a minimum of 50 are needed for a proper analysis, he hopes to collect around 100. This summer, some of the samples were collected together with French environmental group UNU Mondo Expedition, which traveled to Iceland for a month-long expedition to study climate change issues. The whales are important to us, for our lives, because they are part of the ecosystem on our planet, said Sophie Simonin, 29, the organization's co-founder. They also absorb enormous amounts of carbon dioxide, she added. According to a December 2019 study by the International